Hello, welcome to Daily Wellbeing with Gemma. So I've been trying to think of different ways that we can slow down and maybe be mindful or appreciative while we're in lockdown, because there's lots of different resources out there for meditation and mindfulness, but sometimes it's nice to make it a bit more personal and to have some variety. So something that I thought would be interesting is to kind of go and grab some everyday objects from around your house, and we'll use them as a little bit of a focus. So I've tried to grab a range of things and they're relatively mundane, but that's the point. Things that are relatively mundane actually have a big story to tell, and there might be all sorts of things where when you really spend time thinking about it, there's a deeper significance or appreciation for that object. So I'll show you some examples and hopefully it makes sense. So the first thing that I grabbed was this. It's just a fabric flower that is collecting dust on display in my living room. When you've got your object, take some time to notice what it's like, to feel it, smell it. But really, I wanted us to kind of spend some time thinking about, how did this come into your life? What meaning or significance does it have, if any? And just to appreciate what that is. So I got this when I was on holiday in Spain, and I think it was actually like a garnish on a really elaborately large cocktail. And I remember keeping it and wearing it in my hair instead of my little flower for most of an evening, and just enjoying it so much that I brought it home. And now it lives on the shelf and I don't pay very much attention to it, but actually there's quite a lot of memory associated with that, of kind of being playful, being silly, and enjoying a really nice holiday in the sunshine. So everyday object, interesting backstory. Very boring object. I tried to pick boring ones to prove that this works with a range of things. So metal ruler. I have had this ruler since I was 15, which is a very long time ago now. And I can't remember if I bought it or somebody else bought it for me. So try and remember how things came into your life, but sometimes we can't always. But I was doing a project for my graphic design work and I needed a metal ruler to be able to work with a craft knife and cut things out. And this is now my friend when I'm doing DIY projects, or if I have to do any kind of detailed cutting. So it makes me smile that as a young person, I'd started a toolbox from a very young age. So it means something to me in a bizarre sort of way, in terms of remembering my areas of interest, but also that my hobbies were kind of creative. I also picked up a deck of cards. I've got probably about 20 decks of cards in the house, so there's not necessarily anything special about this particular deck. But I bulk bought quite a few because a friend of mine taught me a magic trick that I absolutely love, and in order to demo it I needed quite a few decks. So it makes me smile because it reminds me of that person, it reminds me of doing that trick. But also when I was in college, me and my friends every lunchtime played card games all the time. So any deck of cards is a fond reminder of that. And so I really enjoy having cards around the house because it gives me that option to always be able to play those games and go back to those memories. And last one, again, I tried to think of one of the most boring-ish things I have. But again, anything can be interesting if we put some thought into it. So although this is just a mug, I don't actually drink very much tea or coffee at all. So it amuses me. Mugs always remind me of my family instead, because they are the tea drinkers. So I have mugs for guests rather than for me. And and it always makes me smile, kind of making sure they're close enough on hand that when I've got family round for tea, they've got something to drink from. Also, I think, so this particular mug was in like a hamper that I got when I first moved into my flat. So the people who I got the mortgage from kind of gave me some cleaning products and some mugs. So it just, again, although it's a very normal everyday thing, it's a symbol for me of me having my own home, and it reminds me of when I first moved in. So this can be quite a fun thing to do with the family. It's a chance to slow down, it's a chance to tell a story, pick some everyday things, and you might find that certain things you've got very little to say about it. When I was trying to choose objects, I spotted, a pen that I have no idea where I picked it up from, or, there might be little bits of furniture or bits of notepaper, things that you can't say too much about. But even then you can have a think about, well, what does it mean that you can't say too much about it? Other things will have much more of a story to them, especially if they were gifts, if there were things that you bought in significant events, times, places. But that can be an interesting way to kind of appreciate the things that you've got around the house with you, as well as find some time to slow down. So I hope you enjoy that and find the process interesting. Maybe it will kind of rekindle some connection with some of the things that you surround yourself with. So I'd love to hear about some of the objects and backstories that you have around you, and I will see you next time. Bye.